Check one, two, check one, two. Check one, two. Howdy, folks. It's your old pal Brian from Tokyo Record Style. How's it going? Otsukare-sama desu. It means job well done. It's finished. It's a wrap. Everybody did a good job. And I just wanted to put a little bow on this video series that I've been hosting for the last 4 days. And just kind of wrap it up so I can move on to the next little project. And something that I thought I'd do on this stream is talk about just a few, I don't know, a few moments, a little bit of a recap, a little bit of a just overall impressions about this little trip I went on. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I basically just traversed the nation, and well, hardly actually. I just traversed one small part of the country, like 1/10 of it basically. And in fact, I think I even have the trip up here on my desktop. Maybe I can pull it up and show you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, this is it. Let's open this. I'll just show you. I was going to save this for oops. I was going to save this for another maybe live stream down the way a little bit, or excuse me, a video down the way, but we'll go ahead and I'll just give you a preview of it. So this is a JPEG, so I can't really zoom in and out on it, but this was the trip that I made. Here we are in Tokyo. This giant little area that's kind of in white is all of Tokyo. Well, this is a bit far, but this is the Tokyo metropolitan area. Tokyo is like this part that kind of circles around this red pin, but it also, Kanagawa, Yokohama, Saitama, Chiba, all of this is kind of like the greater Tokyo metropolitan area in which some 36 million people live. And over here we have Chiba Prefecture and Ibaraki. Maybe you've heard of Tochigi, is where Ibaraki and Tochigi are where some of the race circuits are, where you can go see like F1 maybe, and super bikes and things like this. And it's kind of factory land out here, and also like lovely little towns and rice fields and farming and all kinds of stuff. But and then Saitama, maybe Saitama. I don't really know that well about Saitama. It's kind of like the very, very, I know it has like its own unique, state prefecture culture and identity. And I don't mean to sort of like lop it into Tokyo, but it is kind of like super extended Tokyo. It just kind of, you never know really when you're going into Saitama. And then over here, Kanagawa is where like Kawasaki is, and Yokohama. And then over here, you start to get into Shizuoka and the Izu Peninsula. This is the Chiba Peninsula over here, and this is the Izu Peninsula. And it's where a lot of people have like go to the beach and have a nice time at the beach. It's about maybe an hour and a half. Oh no, it's maybe about a 2-hour drive here. You can get to closer beaches, but the really nice ones are down here. There's even islands that are part of the Tokyo state, the prefecture of Tokyo, down here, and they go even further down, and you can take speedboats and overnight ferries, and you can go to these islands. They're kind of nice. And then Shizuoka is where like the tea farming is. It's where all the ocha and the green tea comes from. And that's Shizuoka City is the capital of Shizuoka Prefecture. And then you get into Aichi, where it's kind of here in the middle of this. We're looking at the Honshu Island. This over here on the bottom left is kind of the beginning of the Shikoku Island, but this is the kind of guts of the Honshu main island of the four. And then basically you get over here into Nagoya, and Aichi is in, I think, Nagoya Prefecture, or maybe I kind of forget a little bit, but Gifu is kind of a big prefecture. Nagano, maybe you remember from the Olympics, is up here. Niigata is up here a little bit. These were all the ski mountains and the Japanese Alps are. And then you get to Kyoto, Kobe, and Osaka. This whole area is like 5 huge cities, kind of connected a little bit like Tokyo. And if you go just a little bit further, you get to this little town called Himeji and Hyogo Prefecture. And then over here, you get all the way to Okayama and the Seto Inland Island, Seto Inland Sea, which is really an amazing place. If you've been to Japan once or twice, and you've been to Tokyo and Osaka and maybe Kyoto, and maybe you've been to Nikko or Nara, or maybe you've been to skiing in Hokkaido, or maybe you've been to Okinawa. But there's this area down here where we can't really see much of it because it's off screen, but there's an amazing place where there's this whole gajillion islands where you can go on like museum hopping and island hopping, and there's all these like art islands. Basically they call them like the art islands. And here's Okayama, where all the like excellent denim comes from. And anyway, what I did was I started here in my hometown Tokyo, and I took an overnight bus and went all the way here to this little town called Tatsuno. And Tatsuno is where I bought this motorcycle with a sidecar. I got this idea from a buddy of mine. He got the idea, and he kind of dared me. And I kind of iterated the idea a little bit, and like got online, and surely I couldn't find what I thought I might be looking for. And sure enough, I found something, and way far away. And I contemplated, how I was going to pull this whole thing together, and how I was going to do it, and whether it was even possible, and how do you get it back from Tokyo, or how do you get it back to Tokyo, and do you put it on a train or a truck or a boat, or what do you do, And I looked into it, and like the most economical and fun looking way was to like drive it back. So I found a little pocket in the calendar that was like open field, and I made some arrangements, and a few things went haywire, but it all ended up working out in the end. And I finally like left on a Wednesday night by an overnight bus and went all the way over here to Tatsuno, and then spent the next 4 days driving back to Tokyo. And hey, Ninja Cat, Matt's in the house. Appreciate you being here, dude. If you guys are watching, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to say hello. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. Let me get Matt's comment up on the board here. Cheers, man. Otsukare-sama desu. Job well done on the boulder shows. I'm just kind of putting a little bow on this little video series, and then all of these little tidbits that I'm mentioning might become part of I don't know, a bigger video at the end. But for my own storytelling sensibilities, I just wanted to wrap this up, and because I think I did like 12, or maybe, I don't even know, I didn't count yet, 10, 12, 15 live streams. So this is the last one of the series. Oh, hey, FZap20 in the house. Dayton, Ohio. Okay, cool, man. Nice. Well done. And one person's, I skipped over that one. It's hard to read here. Oh, cheers, guys. Thanks for saying hello, everybody. Watching from Oz. Nice, dude. What part of Oz? Are you in Western Oz? Are you in Sydney, Melbourne? I have good friends in Townsville. That's where I really want to go. And good friends in Margaret River, outside of Perth. Saskatoon, Dallas. Nice to have you here, dude. Yornimer, appreciate it. Nice long road trip. Always hear motorcyclists sometimes get sore from the road and the motorcycle seat. Did you experience any of that? Actually, not at all. Not even in the slightest. And I was a little bit surprised. And I think it wasn't because of the comfort of the motorcycle seat. I just was having such a good time. Like, it was the furthest thing from my mind. It was absolutely the furthest thing from my mind. And I've talked about it quite a lot, but this bike takes a lot of concentration to ride. And I didn't really even have time to be sore. I didn't even have time to think about it. I was doing this a little bit, I was kind of like I can feel it now actually, but no, normally I think I would be, but I just was like over the moon with bliss that I didn't really notice it. Got a little sunburn. That's about the that's about the extent of my road pains. Ninja Cat, interesting. Yeah, I'm here for it. Cheers, dude. Sydney, nice. Okay, man. I'd love to go to Sydney. Looks like one of the most. Sydney, is that the one? I think they say City of Lights, although I could be mistaken. And when they say lights, it's like the Paris of Australia, where the lights coming in off, it's reflecting off it's like low light in the sky. It's real nice. LA, California, Yortimer. I seem to forget that. Okay, good to see everybody here. Yeah, Margaret River is a must. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. I got a really good buddy who's there. Cheers, man. I've been seeing you guys come on supporting like the thing and this travel, and I can't tell you, really, it's really encouraging. And you know, I mentioned it once at some point, like being overexposed and like exposing oneself and being like an exhibitionist and like, what am I fucking doing? Is this like, am I such a narcissist that I need to like, stream every little peanut that I eat? But in the same way that people say like, don't overthink it, I'm like, that's dumb advice, you know? Don't overthink it. Okay, I get it. Like in the feel zone, in the what do they call it? In the zone, in the flow state. I get that, but like if this is my jam and this is my MO, then okay, of course I want to like I should calculate myself, and I do calculate myself for the videos that I'm making. But consider this like BTS. This is behind the scenes of my brain at work. And I guess I'm not going to make any apologies for being overexposed. Not that anybody's asking me to, but this has been an interesting experiment for myself to just basically turn my 4 days into like the Truman Show. And I don't know if I did it right, but I've been that's one of the big takeaways. Let me come back to that a little bit. But to see repeating names and Gary and one person's opinion, I saw Bucks and 4D and Ninja Cat, Matt, Yorn, all you guys. It's I'm like, oh nice. There's like people following along the story, and it's really like it motivates me to keep going with it. And maybe you shouldn't be motivating me according to some other people, but I've been feeling really good about it. And I I don't know, but like sometimes you guys follow me or subscribe to the channel, and I'm like, I don't know much about this. I don't remember ever meeting this person or knowing about this person, or I don't remember the first comment that he made, but suddenly they're here and they're commenting and they're encouraging me, and I'll click through to your channel sometimes, and I'll see like, oh, I'm already subscribed, or um, uh, you don't make videos and there's no videos, or you haven't made a video in 8 years. And I'm winging this, and I'm not necessarily proud of the fact that I'm winging it, but it would be like a great outcome of one of these kind of live streams would be to have somebody say like, hey, I made a video because of you. That would be really flattering, and it's not what but I believe in this notion that like more water in the harbor floats all the boats. I love this saying, more water in the harbor floats all the boats. The more that we can all kind of encourage each other, the more friendly competition, even though that's not really what I'm trying to say, but like the more there is, the more there can be, and the more that we can, it can ripple out. So if you're following the story, I really appreciate it. I want to hear your story. I really do. And I want to maybe inspire you to tell a story that you maybe haven't even told yet. So, yeah, just to see these guys' names again, it's really meaningful. Truly, it's really meaningful. I really appreciate you guys being here. While I've got that comment was actually directed at Gary, who just kind of popped on. Meanwhile, I've got Ninja Cat Matt's comment. My ass hurts from the metal benches at Folsom Field. Yeah, dude, tell that story. Get on YouTube and tell the story of seeing Fish 3 nights at Folsom Field. It sounds really cool. I mean, that's my alma mater. That's where I went to university. And my college actually happens to be my individual earth sciences building is right next to Folsom Field. And I saw it every day for years and years. So I was bummed that I couldn't be there. But yeah, City of Lights. I haven't heard that reference. Okay, look it up. One person's been. I don't know. I might be mistaken, but I think I've heard that before. I think and it's a photography thing. It's like Melbourne or Sydney's like a wonderful city to photograph. It might be Melbourne. I'm not sure. There is no right and wrong, says Dallas. If you're having fun, that's all that matters. I agree, right? I totally agree. Did you discover any new towns that impressed you along this way? Very much so. Oh, Okaya. Okaya. This town, dude. Okay, have you been to Japan before? You've been to one of these like what do they call them? Like, what am I I'm spacing here. What am I trying to say? One of the yokochos. Thank you, yokochos. You've been to one of these yokochos, like a dirty alley. There's Shombe Yokocho, piss alley. There's Nombe Yokocho, drinking alley. There's Omoide Yokocho, memory lane, and there are these little tiny narrow streets with all these little bars. Gayenmai, maybe you definitely probably know them. And they're like these little tiny bars, and it's almost like intimidating to go inside them because they're so small, and it's just like you're face to face with. It's a really interesting culture. And this town, Okaya, I gotta talk about it. Okaya is this whole downtown, this whole village of like all these mazes of streets with this templatized storefronts, one after another, and there's this whole like maze of them. It's really, really interesting. And I actually was like driving through there at sunset, and like most of the shutters were closed. So I wonder if like even in the daytime most of the shutters are closed, or I wonder if it's like, if it's this suffering the same fate that lots of towns like it are, which is, everybody's moved out and kind of the town's aging out essentially. But if I had another, like 4 days to hang out there, I'd walk around and see what all is in there. It was really impressive. And it's in Nagano, and it's north of Lake Suwa, which is Suwako in Japanese. Suwako's just a pretty nice big. It's not like a boating kind of lake. It's just a big giant, circular pond essentially, and there's towns all around it, and Oyaka is just one of the probably 5, 6, 7 kind of like minor cities that were really cool. So put that one on your map, and and the main reason that you should go there is because there's an incredible record store called Cellar Records, which I'm going to share with you really quickly, really soon. I just wanted to like I said, just kind of wrap this series up so that I can get to the next stories. And I think I won't come back to the motorcycle thing and to the sidecar thing for a little bit. I'm sure I'll probably be talking about it, but I got video, I got records to talk about, I got music to talk about, I got other things that I want to do, and I'm gonna go revisit the motorcycle in some time. But yeah, thanks for that question, M Fidelity. Mexico to USA 1. Oh, you guys are watching is there like a World Cup qualifier or something? I actually went and saw Mexico play USA at Bronco Stadium, whatever that one's called. Yeah, I saw Mexico versus USA, and I think who won? I forgot who won. About maybe 20 years ago. Gary, nice to see you here. I do more on Instagram than I do here. Okay, drop your Instagram in the. Oh, maybe you can't. I don't do the wrenches here. Send me a message on Instagram if you have already, and I've spacing it. I'm sorry, but send me again. I'll follow you. I'm kind of slacking off pretty hard on Instagram these days, because this one requires a lot of energy, and but I'm promising myself, because the Instagram thing that I'm doing is sort of a replication of the website that I'm doing, which is the writing that I'm doing, and I'm like ignoring the writing that I really should be doing, and that I feel like that's my real thing. But to get on screen and to make a video version of those writings essentially. But yeah, send me a message on Instagram. Go Buffs, says Ninja Cat Matt. I never saw any sports anything in Boulder. Nothing, not even a thing. I don't even really like. I'm a part of the alumni association. Apparently, University of Colorado has like the biggest International Alumni Association in Japan, and they just like found me on LinkedIn. And they're like, "Hey, you should come." And I was like, "Okay." And I went. I was like, "Oh, they're all kind of fun and cool." So I've been hanging out with those guys. Um, and yeah, Colorado looks like a beautiful campus. I mean, I just count. I was very lucky. I mean, so many schools like Colorado across the country, like CU Boulder, that are just exquisite places of just like paradise for learning, and just like too nice to be honest. It's just like how lucky are these kids that get to go to school there? How lucky was I? I mean, just to yeah, and it's like the physics department, they have like 5 Nobel Prizes or maybe like 11. It's like it's insane, and the football's like insane, and there's a film school, and the campus is like a whole city, and there's the aerospace and cosmology and all this crazy cool and all these arts, and the Conference on World Affairs is an awesome university. I mean, my experience was amazing. I don't know, and that was quite a long time ago, but really nice place. And Boulder's, I mean, I have 2 hearts. I have 3 hearts. One of my hearts is with Tokyo, where I've lived actually the longest in my life. Another one is Tulsa, my hometown, where I can't believe I've now lived in Tokyo longer than I lived in my hometown. And Boulder, I love Boulder, where I spent 10 years before I came to Japan. I've seen a lot of different campuses across USA, and Boulder is nice. It is indeed. Berkeley, also nice. Yeah, and a lot of these like kind of Midwest campuses are really nice. Um, yeah, I like sidecar motorcycle. Cheers. Okay. If you travel to Australia, remember it is huge, right? Driving to Trounsville to Margaret would take around 5 days. I know. It's deceivingly enormous, right? America is the same way. In fact, Japan is almost the same way. All these distances that I looked on the Google Maps. Here, I'll pull this back up. All the distances were how do I do this? Hold on. What do I do? Undo that maybe. All these distances said like, oh, 6 hours to here, 4 hours to here, and every distance took twice as long. On the sidecar made me slow down a little bit, but Google does that. It never gets you ahead of schedule. It over promises and under delivers every time, and it was really the case. I mean, I traveled. I think you can even see if you zoom in. I'm not sure. It's something like 1,600 kilometers, and knock off 400 of those because I took the bus all the way to Tatsuno, the overnight bus that got me there. 1,722 kilometers it is. So yeah, knock off 400 or 500 for the bus that I took, and actually the bus that I took back. So I go to Kyoto. First day was Tatsuno to Kyoto. Second day was huge. Kyoto to Suwako. I went that whole distance. Can you guys see my mouse? I went that whole distance. I went from Kyoto. I woke up pretty early and went around Lake Biwako, and went to Shige Prefecture. And then I just dipped my toes into Fukui-ken here, and then dashed across. I couldn't get across directly to Nagano this way. I would have had to go either way around this way or to go back down to Gifu. And had I thought that through a little bit better, I might have skipped Fukui, but because it ate into like some time, and that made me late to get to Suwako. But anyway, I just kind of skipped Gifu. I had to plan to like go here and stop and go to record stores, but I was really hell-bent on getting to this special place called Cellar, and I was like, I'm not going to make it if I stop at any record stores in Gifu. So I just kind of bypassed Gifu, and it was beautiful. And I outran some rain, and the mountains are everywhere, and it was cool, and there was forest roads and big valleys and mountains all over the place. It was and luscious green rice fields. The Shinryoku, the very kind of earliest sprouts of the rice, was fucking amazing. It was so beautiful. And I just was saying out loud, I was like, Japan is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Everywhere's beautiful, right? But it was real nice. It was a nice time of year to be traveling. And then I get up to Suwako, and I wish I could zoom in here, but I'll just leave this, and we'll do that next time. But Suwako is in Nagano, and a long time ago, I went to Suwako with my buddy Katsu, and we rode motorcycles all the way from Suwako back to Tokyo, and like 20 years ago. And so I wanted to kind of revisit that journey a little bit. So after I had an amazing day in Suwako, and I actually didn't have like I stayed at the hotel in Kyoto. and I had like a tent with me, like a little bivy sack and like a sleeping bag, and I had like a little one man thing. But when I got to Suwako and this town of Okaya, I went and met the owner of this Cellar Records place, and he was like, "Come back tomorrow. I'll let you can come and do it, and it'll be really fun." And so I said, "Okay." By the way, I know people ask me all the time, "Hey, I'm coming to Tokyo. Where should I stay in the hotel? What's the best hotel to stay at?" And people don't know the hotels in their own towns. They don't stay at hotels. They maybe know a few, but they don't. Generally speaking, they don't really know where the best hotels or campsites are, because they're in their homes or in their apartments. At any rate, he had a great recommendation for me, which was down by this riverside or a lakeside park, and said that I could camp there. I went down to the park. Perfect. I was like, everything worked out today. Like I missed a record shop. I nearly got rained on, but the weather was perfect. I saw a rainbow. It was awesome. Like sunset. I got here. I'm not setting up tent. I'm not setting up anything in the dark. I still have light. It's like perfect day. Perfect day. I traveled like 600, 800 kilometers, I went a long way. I mailed the guy Tatsuno I mailed the guy in Tatsuno from whom I bought the bike, and he said, "Man, you covered some ground, man. You made it all the way to Suwako. Good grief, from Kyoto. That's a lot of riding." But I was just having a blast. I was just having an absolute blast. And so anyway, Hama-san at Chino Cellar Records told me, "Yeah, you can go down to this local park. It's real nice. Maybe like what would it be like? I almost felt like a Stanley Park, I think, in Vancouver. It was like, lakeside. It was like this sprawling park that was like, it went on for like a couple. It was long, and yeah, and it was like heaps of parking and nobody down there, but there were like street lights everywhere with kind of like little camera things on them. I thought, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I looked at the sign, it's like no camping. Like, And I saw the RVs, and the RV also said like no staying all night in the RV. And but they stayed. And so I was like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. So I didn't have an RV, but I just pulled up next to the RV parking lot and kind of like literally did sleep on the side of the road. It wasn't a glamorous campsite at all, but I just pulled my motorcycle up to the bush, and I had a little spot, and it was awesome. I didn't even like get out the sleeping bag. It was so nice until the early morning when it was a little bit chilly, but it was perfect. I just like literally like pumped up the sleeping mat and just like slept under the stars. It was awesome. And then in the morning, and I got a proper night's sleep. It wasn't like a twisting and turning and freezing. It wasn't any. It was like a great night's sleep, the best night of sleep on this trip. And early in the morning, I was just kind of like checking the phone, and I made a video of it. That felt when I went back and watched, I was like, come on, Brian, don't show people waking up. You're not that interesting. You're not that adorable. Get the fuck, stop doing that. And then I deleted it. And then I was like, later, I just was like, oh, fuck it. Who cares? I'm already out there. Like, just fucking republish it. I want it to be part of the story. So it's out there. You can go make fun of me on my, like, good morning. I'm having a nice little camp out here. It's real nice. It's pretty stupid, but I'm just warts and all. There's warts and all. That's my motto. So then some lady came over, and she's making sure there's not like a dead body on the side of the road. And I was like, "Ohayou gozaimasu," and she was like surprised, and she kind of backed up. And I was like, "Ohayou gozaimasu, arigatou gozaimasu, daijoubu desu, I'm okay," in Japanese, I'm saying. And but that was, nobody came and bothered me. It was real nice. I've got these. Okay, sorry, I've got this comment up here the whole time. I'm bad at that. They need to like prompt you to like take those comments down. Japan is deceptively large. Indeed, it really is. Texas alone is also enormous. Yeah, I mean everywhere. Yeah, right. I mean, those flat earther guys who are like, I can see the curvature of the earth, and like the madness of that. Like if you saw the science experiment that went wrong between two of these guys, they were like, so we're going to go 13 miles from each other, and that should be the distance that, the thing shouldn't line up, and you'll see a straight line. We'll prove that the earth is flat. And they literally like, where's the dot? Where's the laser that you're pointing? And they're like, it's 8 feet above my head. And they're like, oh, that means the earth is curved or whatever it was. It's kind of hubris, quite funny. Oh, good grief. Good thoughts to all the flood victims and the families from the third and fourth. Oh, no, I didn't know about this. I didn't hear about that. Okay. Hearts going out to flood victims. Man. I was that in Texas? I don't know. I didn't hear about it. Oh, man, what a bummer. I hope everybody's okay. Hey, Brian, glad you and your bike made it home safe. The bike didn't make it home. Well, the bike actually did make it home. My house happened to be on the way. I'll pull this map up real quick. So I after Suwako, that was day 1, day 2, then day 3 I went to this amazing town that I love to go to. I go there whenever I can, called Fujino. You can see Fujino Station. I think it's on the border of Kanagawa Ken and Tokyo Prefecture, and I'll tell you why it's real nice. It's real nice for a lot of reasons. It's this art town, and there's a bunch of hippies that live up there, and it's kind of like where people like go to get off the grid. Real nice town. All these nice little cafes. I talked about it. Coffee shops and little galleries and little workshops and indigo dyeing and people doing traditional crafts. And it's like, it's like a real cool villagey sort of thing. But it's also in Tokyo Prefecture. It's in Tokyo-to. I don't know if Fujino, the town itself is, but the region of Tokyo actually, most people think of Tokyo as just being this like metropolis, right? But Tokyo actually has like it's 23 wards. It's like 5 towns and 4 villages. And these 5 towns and 4 villages are all these kind of little mountain towns that are on in the western mountains of Kyoto Prefecture. Oh, excuse me, Tokyo Prefecture, even though Tokyo technically isn't a prefecture, it's a is a special designated prefecture. Todo Fuken, who knows their Japanese? Todo Fuken. Kyoto's not Osaka is a fu. Kyoto's a to. Tokyo's a Kyoto's a to. I've forgotten. Hokkaido is a do. Tokyo is a to. Osaka is a fu, and then all the others are kens. I don't know, Chiba Ken, Gunma Ken. Those are the prefectures. At any rate, because Fujino is in Tokyo and there's all these twisty turny roads, people like to go up. People from Tokyo like to take their nice cars and go driving around on the twisty turny roads in the mountains because you can really get on it and have a lot of fun. But because it's like Tokyo tax dollars, and exactly when you cross over into the border of Kanagawa or Yamanashi or one of the other prefectures, because suddenly the roads aren't graded as well. They're not kept as well. They're not manicured with flowers and all this stuff. Tokyo's got the Tokyo city money to put up these amazing roads up there. And I had mentioned something just briefly, if you caught it. I was talking about the red pavement on the sidewalk at the Suwako Lake. They put this special red asphalt on some of the roads in these mountain towns, and it grips your tires. So you can take these really, really tight turns. And when there's this red grippy asphalt, you won't slip or slide. It's real nice. And it's like a luxury kind of driving thing, which was kind of fun. So Fujino, I met up with my buddy there and my partner on this motorcycle project, and he kind of was like, he wanted to see it because he's kind of working on it and he's got some ideas, and so he needed to see it. And so we hung out, and he's living in this really idyllic little mountain town, and there's all these kids all over the place, and the kids were totally enamored with the sidecar, and they all jumped in, and we had like 5 of them in the car, and everybody wanted pictures, and they pretending to ride. It was a riot. It was a lot of fun. And then I had to get to this place called Hitachi Naka, which is over in Ibaraki. But on my way to Hitachi Naka, I literally drove like within 5 minutes of my own home. So I stopped at my own house and I just unloaded all the things that I got that were on the bike, all the backpacks and sleeping bags and things that I didn't want to lug all the way back from Hitachi Naka. So I took all the stuff out of the sidecar, dropped it off. My family was here, and they got to see this ride. Otherwise, if I hadn't stopped, they won't see it for quite some time. And my wife was like, "Where are you going to park this thing?" I'm like, "Good question, And the sidecar attaches, right? You're not going to and I'm like, "No, it doesn't detach." And she's like, "Oh God, what did I agree to?" And my kids were like, "Whoa, what is going on here?" And my son was like, "Can you take me to meet up with my buddies? And I was like, yeah, sure, dude, let's go. Because I had to get there by nightfall or whatever. So I had a little time to go. So I drove my kid just, a couple miles down the road to meet up with his buddies. And dude, I was just like, that was one of the highlights of the trip, to be honest. It was just so fun to be riding around. And he rides on the back of the motorcycle all the time, but it was just like such a blast to have him sitting in the sidecar. And he's got an iPhone and he was like taking pictures, and he was like, I said, is it scary or is it fun or is it comfortable? He's like, it's comfortable. I love it. I'm like, oh, nice, dude. Okay. So yeah, it was really fun. And just everybody's looking at you, everybody's like, what's going on here? It's real fun. When I got married, I wonder if I don't, when I got married at Asakusa Jinja, which is next to Sensoji, one of the most important, hugest shrines in Tokyo. Now, let's see here. Temples, actually. It's one of the biggest temples in Japan. It's a Buddhist temple, Sensoji, I think. People think it's a Shinto shrine. It's actually a Buddhist temple. Next to it, just directly next to it, is the Asakusa Jinja, the Asakusa shrine. It's very interesting. They're like right next to each other. Nobody goes to the shrine. Everybody goes to the temple. And tourists don't really understand the difference between the two. And it's even hard for me to understand because it's all mixed up. Anyway, we did I wore the hakama, the Japanese thing, and my wife wore this crazy kimono, and we were like, we looked like little dolls, we looked like little bride and groom dolls that you like Japanese versions that you'd find on a wedding cake. And it was all part of this kind of, wedding factory. It didn't feel like that, but it was all part of this like package essentially. And we got to ride around on a jin rickshaw, like a human powered rickshaw. The guys running around with carrying like the wheeled wagon thing with you sitting in it with the little canopy on top. And they parade you around Asakusa, which is this very vibrant part of the city. And it's filled with tourists, and it's the old downtown. It's Shitamachi. It's the old downtown. And so one thing, and Sky Tree at the time wasn't completely built, and it was there was something kind of romantic about the fact that it like wasn't built all the way. It was like there was still it was cool. It was like cranes on top. It just signified a point in time, a point in history. So that was kind of a cool thing. But when they paraded you around the town, which is chock full of tourists and Japanese tourists, international tourists, and the locals, when they parade you around, and you're like, it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not a foreigner, but if you're in the wedding outfits and you're obviously just got married, and it's, what is it? Just married with the cans hanging, like in a car or whatever. It's that sort of deal. Everybody just goes like, oh, Maedetto, wow, Maedetto. And they're all kind of like cheering for you. And for 45 minutes or whatever, they just take you, they don't like parade you around, they take you from point A to point B. But on your way there, everybody just is grabbing their kids and especially the old timers, who they grew up going to weddings, and they're like, I don't know, it's especially. And just so you're driving along in this cart, and like the entire world is smiling at you and cheering for you and taking pictures of you, and they're like, oh my God. And it's a sea of happiness. It was an unforgettable memory. And just the little motorcycle ride that I took from my house to take my kid to the restaurant where his buddies were, everybody on the sidewalks were like, oh, and I was like, oh, this is like that feeling when we got married. So I'm really, really looking forward to what's going to come of this, because it's just, I know it's like it's a smile inducing vehicle, as silly as that sounds. I had a Volkswagen campmobile type 2, I had a Volkswagen hippie bus, an orange one, bright orange, like oranger than the stock orange, like super, super orange. Awesome car from I had it for 10 years. It was great. I loved it. I hated having to sell it. And it was another one that just like everybody wants to talk to you about it. Everybody wants to chat about it. And I want to chat to you about it. And I just want it to be the conduit for, a connection. So I just can tell already that's going to be the most fun part of having this bike. Everywhere you go, it's just going to be like, oh, here's the thing. And like, I don't know, what could possibly come of that? What opportunities, what chances, what kind of people, not in a, like not in a, just like what chances are there to happen? What outcomes are there? It's exciting. It's really exciting. Okay, sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so anyway, so then North Carolina vinyl picker. So after I came home and after I took my kid to the thing, I got back on the highway and let's see if I do this. I got back on the highway and I went the rest of the way to Ibaraki. I must have gone through, I don't know exactly which prefectures I went through, but I think I went through Chiba and then I don't know. I guess I didn't go through Saitama. I thought I would have gone. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. At any rate, I went over here to Ibaraki where the race car circuits are, and Utsunomiya. Utsunomiya is famous for gyoza. And it actually happens to be the sister city of my hometown, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so lots of, I don't know about lots, but Japanese kids sometimes will come to Utsunomiya from my hometown, and Utsunomiya kids will sometimes go to Tulsa for a visit. But actually, why am I talking about Utsunomiya? Because it's actually in Tochigi Prefecture. And anyway, this is Ibaraki. Anyway, I'm rambling here, but interesting thing. I'm about 99% of the way there. I'm about 99%. I've got like 15 more kilometers to go. And I'm like, I need to stop and take a break. And I pull over at the rest area, or maybe I had like 30 more kilometers to go. And I pull over at the rest area and the battery goes, geek, geek, geek. I'm like, what's going on there? Like lights are off. Everything's okay. Geek, 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 geek. And I'm like, okay, this is not a problem. This is okay. I go in, I have a little soft cream. It was like 4 p.m. It was time for a little break, a little snack. I come back out, geek, 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 geek. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what is it? Why do I have such bad luck with batteries? Like I have like 6 dead batteries in my garage, essentially. Like I don't know what it is, but the motorcycles don't have like alternators. They've got this weird like regulator and solenoid kind of thing. It's slightly different technology, and I don't know why it doesn't work. And the fact that this sidecar has like extra taillights and extra winkers, it draws a little bit more on the battery. And the fact that an alternator, you ought to know, how an alternator works. Basically, the more you drive, that's how your battery as it's spinning magnets and coils, which is creating electrical charge, which is charging your battery while you're driving. So all you need to do is move the wheels of your car forward by the gasoline, and you're charging your battery. And a motorcycle has something similar to that. But mine's not working. So I'm driving along, and I have no electricity. I have no headlight. I've had no headlight. I have no winkers. And I'm like, but I'm 15, 20 minutes away, right? Or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how did this happen? This crazy epic journey. Like on the very, very, very last leg, I hit some serious trouble. I wouldn't have been able to drive in the middle of the night. Like somebody would have smashed into me. A truck would have smashed into me. You couldn't have seen me on the road. And so I push started the bike, with a sidecar, which I'm in the parking lot. I'm going to have to tell this story later, but like I'm in the parking lot of the service area. The only hill that is in the service area is the on-ramp to the service area. And it's too heavy to push on like a flat surface. So again, this is like one of those things that it's one of these moments that you kind of live for. You kind of like, it's kind of like what makes these journeys so epic. But what I did was, hold on a second. Let's see here. Just a second. What I did was I waited for no cars to come and no cars to be on the highway. And I raced this thing down the on-ramp and tried to kickstart it, and it didn't work. And I turned it around and I pushed up. I had no idea if you could even kickstart or push start this motorcycle. Like I never push started it before. I'm a pro push starter, but I'd never push started this motorcycle before. Doesn't work. I push it back up the steep hill. I turn around, I do it again. I do it about 4 times, and I'm like sweating, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is trouble. It's not that big of trouble because I can jump it. If necessary, I can just like ask random people in the parking lot, can you jump my bike? But it's not a thing that Japanese people do. And I didn't have jumper cables. I'm definitely getting jumper cables. And the sidecar allows you to have jumper cables in it because it has this little trunk area. By the way, interesting note, after having, whoops, is that okay? After having taken out everything from the sidecar, the sleeping bags and all the little souvenirs that I bought for everybody, it was half the weight and it was twice as hard to ride. It was suddenly like, whoa, this thing wants to get out of it. Okay, all right. Well, that's interesting. It's like another variable. It's another thing to have to understand about operating this machine, is that the counterweight that you need in the sidecar adds another level of complexity to operating this thing. But interestingly, and you have to just use all of these kind of techniques that you've learned on the first 1,000 kilometers that you've ridden, how to leverage those a little bit more. And anybody who loves automotive and engineering and, I highly recommend this experience. Amazing. Really, really cool. Anyway, so the bike stops, and I finally, on the sixth time, I'm like, yes, okay, yes. I go to the next service area, which is, I think probably about like 50 more kilometers away. And I'm like, okay, well, it should have charged up by now. If it like the battery ran out, it should be charged up by now. So, and I need to take a little break. So I pulled over, and I was like, I pulled over, and like I wasn't going to stop unless I saw another hill, another situation that if I got in the same situation. These are the things that you have to think about when you drive piece of shit cars and motorcycles. You're constantly in a state of like, I've been broken down. I've been broken. I'm like, yeah, I really have. You'd just be shaking your head if you knew the amount of trouble I've made for myself with cars and bikes. And then just adventures. You just be like, what? Why would you do that? Like, I don't know, but it just did it. And I'm lived to tell the tale, And so I pull over this next service area, turn it off, and it won't even I get nothing. It's dead, flatline. There's nothing coming out of this thing. And I'm like, oh my God. I mail the boys. I'm like, guys, we have no battery. And one of the guys involved in the project, there's 4 of us, says, I'll come pick you up. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I can probably push start it again, but let me find out. He's like, no, I'll just come pick you up. No, and maybe he didn't know like how. I recently heard about a mechanic was slighted another motorcyclist by saying that there wasn't enough grease in his fingernails. He said he was commenting about a motorcycle scene, and he said, "There's no grease in anybody. There's no grease or oil or grit in any of these people's fingernails." To say these guys don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I've taken lots of motors apart and can put them back together without the instruction manual. I can be like, this one probably goes in here, and it would probably blow up. 1,000 miles down the road, and I'd build it again. But I have a little bit of thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad, for taking apart a lot of things with me. I love taking things apart. I love kludgy fixes. I love shoestrings and duct tape. And anyway, I push started again, and this time it took me like 10 times, and I was like, and I recorded it. I didn't intend to, but I was just recording, and I got it on film. The bike starting up again, and I'm gonna share it in the next, I don't know, day or two. But I think I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's fun. I think it's kind of fun. A little, you'll see it's alive, and I'll just like, woo, like totally forgetting that I recorded the thing. But it should be really fun. Okay, let me read some more of these comments. Let's see here. I might have missed it, but did you buy any records on your trip? I did. I found something really, really crazy, and I was so excited. And so cheap. It was so cheap. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. Like, I couldn't leave it behind. I could not believe it. And they wrapped it up for me. Seller Records. And I kind of want to do a video about it. And like, it's kind of a big box, right? This is not the kind of thing that I normally buy. Oh, my knife is in here. I also brought a knife with me, which was kind of, I was like, I might need a knife, but if I got busted with this knife, it might have been like, I don't know if I can if I can convince the cops that it's okay for me to have a knife. And this is like, this would be like super, like nothing to think about back home if you had a knife like this. But here, because of the anti-sword laws, just a little pocket knife like this is highly regulated. I'm not going to say illegal, but it's like if you're camping, it's okay. And I was camping, so I think, or something like that. And it's actually made in Japan, and it's this is a Spyderco. Do you guys know Spyderco? I've talked about them before. Made in Colorado, nice knife with Japanese steel, Japanese Seki City, which is where I went really close. Nagoya is near Seki City, and they have the really good quality iron there, which is where they get that samurai, which is where Toyota is. Toyota's there is because all the steel industry is there. All these steel industries are around the Nagoya area around here. Like they make all the train tracks around here, and I don't exactly know where Seki is, but it has this very high, pure quality of steel, and it's where the best samurai swords come from, and the best the best like precision stuff. So anyway, this knife is made of that stuff. So they're the brand Spyderco is proud to say that. So, but I'll open this on screen. If you'll let me tell the story again, and when I tell it again on the video that I make about this record shop, please be surprised like you've never seen it before. This I picked up. This I came to know of this by way of the Japan Vinyl Tag. The Japan Vinyl Tag, Mick in Oz. I don't know where Mick is. Who knows where Mick is? Mick, if you're watching, where exactly are you? I know he's somewhere in Oz, but he put this record on his Japan Vinyl Tag, and I never thought I would own it, and I never thought I would find it. And I found a bunch of similar kind of things, but I literally went through the entire record shop, and it was the last thing I found. It's Keith Jarrett Sun Bear Concert piano solo records recorded in Japan. Sun Bear Concert. This is the Sun Bear Concert. This is a giant box set of I think I read 13 records. Hold on a second. It might be 10. I think it's this like very nicely made box set. And this blew me away. I listened to Keith Jarrett for like 5 days in a row. And I didn't know. I knew Keith Jarrett by name. This is the first time I'm looking at this. Wow. Okay, so this has this like, it's this whole thing. Oh, wow. Amazing. Oh my God. This is okay. I may have to make a whole video dedicated to this. I think I will. So let me save this for a little bit later. Dang it, I stole my own thunder. But yes, I did score a record. To be continued. To be continued. Thank you for asking. One record. Well, I say one, but it's actually like however many it is. So look out for that. The Flat Earth Society has members from all four corners of the globe. That's funny. Oh, bummer, dude. Dang, dude. 21 kids, man. Oh, dude, that's heartbreaking. Man, life is so precious. I feel like I mean, even just surviving this trip, I gotta like count my blessings. We all gotta count our blessings every day for the time that we have, because you just never know. That's a bummer, dude. That's a super bummer. Guadalupe River Texans, hearts going out to you from Japan. Yeah, bummer. Kerr County. Send some good healing vibes to Kerr County and to all those families who are just like, fuck, man, so intense. Where is Kerr County? a second. San Antonio. I'll pull this up real quick if I can. I know this is a little bit, but yeah, let's just kind of like have a little intentional moment. I mean, I don't want to like, but I mean, my mind's just thinking where my mind goes, and this is not to say where my mind goes. It's just that I do this work that's like responding to, and I'm not, I get judged. I've been judged. I've gone through the process of being judged for doing this work and talking about doing this work. And I'm just like so over it. You want to have your judgment, go ahead and have it. But my mind, I can't help but think about, how can I do this? About what can we do? What can be done? What do we do? Here's the place, San Antonio. Here's Kerr County. Here's Austin. I'm guessing there are no record shops around here, which is, I don't know if like that makes that matter. I mean, I'm just saying, I was thinking like, okay, can we reach out to a record shop there? Can we reach out to somebody in the vinyl community there? What can we do? What could we collectively do? And now I'm talking about it and I'm like, is it empty, hollow promises? Maybe but I want to at least think about it. I don't really know. Kerrville. It looks like there's only one town. What's going on in Kerrville? Western Art Museum. The Coming King Sculpture Prayer Gardens. The Coming King. Okay, so it's probably like a very Christian place. Worldmark Hunt, Stablewood Springs. Is that like Hot Springs? Hunt. I feel like I know some. I feel like that's something that sounds familiar. Okay. Well, if anybody out there is connected to this community in any way, and if there's something that we can do to, I don't know, send some good vibes, send some things, send something, let us know. Let us know. And thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Man, it's like, the thing about this, I'll just mention, it sounds stupid to say right now. It's not even really appropriate, but I will say, like, the people who've lost everything are the craziest, strongest people I've ever encountered. And there's something, I mean, I'm sitting here saying this from a place of it never having happened to me. So it's real rich maybe for me to say it, but I just find what I've seen is, I'm sure they wouldn't trade their experiences with their worst enemies, but the resilience of people is insane. It's insane. It's so insane. And people who have endured something like this have a lot to offer, just from perspective, from there's something about like having a house burned down, having a flooded, a tsunami. I mean, like having it all just, you can imagine, like there's now's not the time to be talking about that, but like give it 6 months, give it a year, and people will be like, no, actually, it was like, it taught me how precious everything is and how unimportant everything else is, So hearts going out to Kerrville from Tokyo and from all the people hanging out here. Bummer, super bummer. Okay. Japan was bigger than I thought. Drove from Tokyo to Hiroshima in one go. Took nearly 10 hours. Man, that's fast, I would think. Did not research as well as we were originally going to use the train. Yeah, the train would have taken you 4 hours or less. Sorry, I'm getting behind here on the comments. Did you make it to the beach often? No, I decided to go the mountain route. I just avoided the beach route. I was like, I love the beach, but I'm not really pulled to the beach. Japanese wedding is a beautiful thing to witness. Yeah, you see them. If you come here and you go to the shrines, you'll indefinitely indefinitely. You'll definitely see a Japanese wedding. So many golf courses, you know this, Matt, in Chiba. Yes, I've played a handful of them. I talked up this big game to my father-in-law. Oh yeah, I play golf, and then I like went out and just like sucked at golf, as hard as one could suck. And I'm like, I play a good golf game, I genuinely do, but I just like, I don't know if it was the pressure or what, but it was, um, yeah, I chalked it up as a loss. Not that I wanted to beat the dude, but he just, he was like, yeah, you did talk a big game. I was like, damn it, I'm just like, I really enjoyed the scenery in these videos. Cheers, Shane Vinyl Records. Appreciate you commenting on that. I did too, man. In real life, it was amazing. I'm glad that you got a little hit of it on the videos. Tamahagane Sword Steel. Okay, Tamahagane. I don't know about this one. Okay, I know Seki Steel, and I know that the guy, I'm not quite there yet. Well, I'll save it for a second. Let's see. Southwest of Austin. Sorry for the bummer news. Yeah, man, I'm just sorry for their loss. It's a bummer, dude. For sure, every day is a gift. Yep. And yep, we all ought to remember that a little bit more. Nice box set. Wake from a deep sleep. Hola, Brian. Hola, Bucks. Nice to have you here. Well, I'm just kind of recapping this little trip. I'm going to go for a little bit longer here. I want to just kind of bring up the rest of the trip and put a little, like I keep saying, bow on this story. Let me, let's see here. This one. Okay, this is the one. Oh, that didn't work. What's up with that? Why didn't that work? Oh, did it work? Hold on. There it goes. Okay. Am I moving? Am I okay? Everybody okay? Let's see here. Okay, so I went from my home here in Suginami. I live in the city of Suginami. It's one of the 23 cities of Tokyo. And I rode up to Hachitaka Naka. I told you I nearly didn't get the bike started. Finally, I rolled up at the place. I was sending the live, send the progress of your trip to the team that's involved in this project. And so they could follow me, and they knew where I was, and I didn't reply to him to say like, come pick me up. And so I assumed that he could see me on the road, and he did, because basically I got off the highway and I was like, oh God, please don't stall, please just stay alive. Okay. One more funny bit, just so I can remember it myself. I pull up at the toll gate. The toll ticket that I stupidly stuck in my front pocket thinking like it'll be fine here was probably gone within 2 minutes of me getting on the highway. I always put it in the same pocket of my bag, but this time I put it in my front pocket and it wasn't there. And I pulled up to the ticket gate, and of course earphones are like have some music on, and like the intercom is like, I'm like, oh no, I don't have the ticket, and the cars are like piling up behind me, and I push the service button and I'm like, it's like, ごめん、日本語あまりできない。もう一回。It's like, oh God, should I pull forward? It's like, oh God, okay. I'm pulling forward. ちょっと前に行きます。待ってます. And I'm waiting for some guy to like, storm out of there and be like, I told you to stay here. I'm like, dude, I can't hear anything through this intercom. But I pull over on the side of the little service area because there's nobody working the toll booths. They're all these sort of automatic things. But there's a little office off to the side. And this little guy walks out and he's all smiling. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh, did you lose your ticket? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, where'd you come from? And I'm like, I come from this. And he's like, oh, okay, well, just come on inside. Can you pay cash or credit card? And I'm like, cash? And he's like, okay, come and have a seat. And he's like, don't you want to turn off your motorcycle? And I was like, actually, no, I don't want to turn the bike off because... And he said, oh, I get it. You should keep it running. And he was like, no, it's fine. I get it. And I was like, yeah, the Choshi ga yokunai. The bike's not doing so well. I need to keep it going. He's like, okay, don't worry. I leave a running bike. Okay, granted, it's on the side of the, countryside. There's not anybody else. I just left a running motorcycle on the side of the highway, nobody came, for like 5 minutes. Like nobody comes and like rides it off. Maybe nobody would want to come and ride it off, but I did do that. And so then I get back on the bike. And I wonder if the guys who are tracking my travels, I wonder if they're like watching me like push start the bike and like going in circles and like, what's this guy doing? Is he doing donuts in the parking lot? What's he doing? Anyway, I I pull into this, like, I still have like 10 more minutes to go. I'm nearly there. I'm like out in the middle of all these rice fields, like huge, huge, like, and the biggest rice valley of the trip yet. And there's like one little pocket of houses like way out in the middle. And I'm like, that can't be it. Like, if this is where this guy lives, it's gonna be amazing. And like, I sure enough turned down this road and I'm like driving alongside the river, and there's like, no, it's like, oh my God, this guy lives out here. And I've never met this guy. This is Hattori-san, Hattori Hanzo, the guy from Kill Bill who's like got the sword, the samurai sword, and gives the sword to the bride. Like, that was Hattori-san. I went to go take the motorcycle to Hattori-san in Hitachinaka. And right when I pull down the street and I'm driving past the houses, and then there's like 5 little buildings on Google Map. This must be his like compound. And I roll up, and he's just waiting there with this like super cool dude with like some holy jeans, kind of like, he's got like a gray, like a Fu Manchu kind of mustache. He's got like a bandana on. He's got like a tattered like motorcycle t-shirt. I'm like, and he's smiling at me, and I'm like, Hattori-san. He's like, Brian. And I'm like, oh, dude, I made it. He's like, you made it. It was like awesome. First time I'm meeting this guy, giant hug. Super great. And I start to like get a little bit of lay of the land, and he's got these like garages with all kinds of things. I got to be a little bit mindful about what I share, but it's like crazy. It's really, really crazy. And he's just got toys coming out of his ears, but he's also driving a little shitty Land Cruiser. I say shitty Land Cruiser, but of course it's probably worth a small fortune, but he's probably had it forever. The guy has raced in 2 Dakars. The race from Paris to Senegal, I think, where Dakar is. There's like a cannonball run with motorcycles that has been going on for like 50 years. And he's run the Dakar twice. And he's got a whole, I can't say, but it's a nice, I'm in very good hands. And the crazy thing about it is the bikes that he rode on Dakar are the bikes that I grew up on. And he's a Honda dude, and my club man has the same DNA of the bikes that he's really familiar with, and that I didn't realize until kind of recently, after I visited the Honda, what do they call it? Honda museum, basically the Honda museum, out at one of the race circuits. This incredible museum with every single Honda that's ever been made, like ever. Every lawnmower, every leaf blower, every motorcycle, every passenger car, every light truck, every NSX, every F1 car on like 5 floors of Honda, like a shrine to Honda. It was amazing. It was super amazing. And right very near there, actually, the guy who started Honda was like a Henry Ford kind of dude. He was like what is it, like live your dreams, or dream to live, or dream to ride, or whatever the dream is Honda Dream is that dude's was the dream of Mr. Honda. So super respect. And when I saw all those Hondas, and I didn't really think I was like a Honda guy. I didn't really know if I had like allegiance to this brand Honda, but I do actually. I love Honda. It is the sort of Ford of Japan. It's what would you call it? It's like it's just a great brand. It's a really great brand. Anyway, something about the DNA of the clubman was riffed from the XR, and this guy knows the XR back and forth, and you could just tell this guy's a master, and he's going to have a little heyday with this motorcycle. And he said to me at one point, so I'm involved in this, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, and you're involved in this? And I said, yeah. And he said, and our other 2 buddies are involved in this. And I said, yep. And he said, so who's the boss of this project? And I said, good question. Very good question. And I don't really know. It is kind of a 4-way collaboration there. I would say there is kind of one leader, but I'm expecting us to have kind of like a 4-way signature on this project by the time that it's over. So very excited. Very, very excited. Amazing trip of a lifetime. Even though it was just like 4 random days in the middle of summer just to go pick up a stupid motorcycle. It was fucking epic. It was fucking awesome. It was so much fun. I just like, it's like one of those things where you're like you're eating bugs, you're like on the highway and you're like, you swallow a bumblebee and you're like, oh fuck, you know, and you're just like it's so visceral, you know, it's so fun and so insane and just so like unlikely, you know, it's such an unlikely situation. So the last thing that I want to say here is that something that emerged from this project was the act of live streaming the entire trip, which I'm sure people have done. I'm sure this is like people have, you know, I mean, but they tell stories, and then I would think that they record these things, then they get in the editing room and they put them together and they tell a story, right? That's the way you tell a real story. You don't just wing it, you know, from the road, from the live stream. But I know from my line of work that there's something very different from planning to do something and just getting thrown, you know, baptism by fire, thrown to the wolves. You can like something about like being, you know, in the with given the microphone, go just and getting kicked out on the stage and be like, oh hey, I'm here, everybody. Okay, let's see how this goes. There's something about that is like, what's the word? Like explosive. There's something like explosively dangerous, but in sort of like a delightful way. And I like it's awesome. It's like my buddy Rob commented, and he was like, "Oh, the Motorcycle Diaries are amazing." I was like, "Oh, that's what this is. They're like the Motorcycle Diaries." I never read those books or that book. I need to go read it now. I know there's some famous book called the Motorcycle Diaries. I don't think I've read it or I know about it, but it just sounds really familiar. But that's what I was doing. That's what this is. This is a diary entry. It's for me to go back and for me to remember like this trip. It would be the same thing as if I had been writing this story in a journal. And I have journals, you know, I have heaps of them of moleskins filled with just ramblings like this. But my hand can't go as fast as my mind can go, and not to brag about my mind of all minds, because it's a little it's a little weird one, but I just can't write that fast, but I can speak that fast. And even if I make a little bit of a fool of myself in doing so, at least it's all there. All the raw data is out there on these live streams. So yeah, maybe I also tried to do the, you know, Canon, I keep calling it Canon videos. I have a feeling that they actually like I won't be able to actually tell the story that I like. It won't be the same as like if you had been there the whole time, which you kind of were. I would like to do like the thing about like making one of these Canon videos, like you need two people. You need somebody who's on the side of the highway or filming you in the record store, you know, doing your thing, and it's the story about you, or they need you to be on the highway and they need to go zoom, and then they need to stop and then reset, and you need to go back, and then they need to go this way, and then they need another one of you going zoom. You know, it takes two people for you to do that. You could do it, but it's like stopping. It's so contrived, and like, I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool, but it's like you know, it's just like it's not my. I want to experiment with those things. I want to experiment with those ideas and get better at them. There was a question about, did you use your hold on, let me stop here for a second. 360 video or cool 360 shifting thought 2D video. This is a great question. Thanks for the question, Yornimer. Did I pull it up? No, it's there. Okay. Well, first of all, I owe a very big thank you. I put it out there that hey, last minute, you know, no shame question here, putting it out. And the reason that I would do something like that is from experience. I have in this volunteer project that I keep talking about, if I found that if you ask people for money, if you ask them for cash, if you're trying to achieve something, if you're trying to do a project, just I know this project isn't like a goodwill project, this motorcycle thing, but in the case of like a goodwill project, you know, these things, how much do the people get paid? You know, is my money really going to pay their salary, or is it going to actually make a difference to people? People don't really know, and they have to trust the organization. You've heard you've heard about some of these organizations. They just, you know, it's all this, all them. Well, I'm not going to say there are heaps and heaps of reputable organizations out there that are doing these things. I tried to start one of these organizations, not because I wanted to do the same thing that I want to do for Kerr, Texas. You know, what can I do? And the only thing that I can do is take pictures. That's the thing that I'm good at. And maybe this, you know, like, and this is just a version of taking pictures. This is me performing, and photography and being a photographer is performance, really, above you know, anything else. It's getting out there and being like, hey, la, 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 hey, okay, you go there, you go there. It's like, it's very much the same muscles. And if I ask people, hey, I need to go buy a new camera, or I need to go get film to be able to give to these people, or I need to go get albums, or I need bus fare to go get to these places. If I say to them, can you donate $100 to, like, for me to be able to go do this? They say no. They say no. Oh, they don't say no, but they're just like, their people are so generous. But it's hard. It's harder for people to say, if I make an Amazon wish list of the materials that I need to do the things that to do the projects that I want to achieve, then supporters, patrons, benefactors, they can see exactly how they're helping, and they can decide whether or not they want to help based on, they know there's no funny business, right? It's very transparent. So and what I put out there for this camera thing, I'm getting asked about a 360 camera at the last minute before I left town. I said, hey, I just am thinking about this on those motorcycle rides. I have a couple of GoPros, but I think I might be going through forests and through tunnels and through things, and like I'm actually dumping a ton of cash, and like I don't think it's prudent to like drop. But if I had one, if I rented one, or maybe somebody out there would want a credit, or maybe somebody would want a trade for my new Tokyo Record service that I just made. I made this Tokyo Record service that it's valuable. It's certainly valuable. Whether you think it's, you know, whatever you think the value is, it has value. I mean, it has costs. It has significant costs. And so I offered it for trade. I said, hey, if you want to if you're coming to Japan and you want to trade, this would be the time I could trade, and maybe you can actually get a good deal, because I could end up sort of on the losing end of this stick, because what I'm offering is worth more than the value that you're getting for it. But, you know, I wasn't even thinking that like deeply about it, but it was a transactional, it was meant to be a transparent transaction, and I'm very happy and proud that how clever I am to realize the you know, to realize the things that I want to do. So I actually I don't know if you can take that notion and do something with it, but if you don't ask, you don't get. And yeah, so if you have something that you want to do, you may, as I have been 1,000 times, you may be really, really, really surprised and humbled, and you know, I don't know, become a more inspired person by, you know, being conscious of the level of graciousness that people have out there, and you do your best to take that inspiration and pay it forward in the ways that you can. So I saw a little bit of like you know, I saw a little bit of you know, people didn't really quite understand that, so just painting that out there for your reference. I did use this camera. I actually, I came together so last minute that I didn't even have time to really understand how to use it. I have not used a 360 camera before. So
I was just like so going so fast and working on so many things. I didn't really even have time to read the instructions, but I just basically got enough from like a couple of YouTube videos that was like, do it on this and do it on this. And now that I've gotten back and I've just started looking at the footage, I've been like, oh, I should have done this a little bit different. Oh, I should have done that a little bit different. I should have done this a little bit different. Okay, I didn't quite get that one, but I recorded like the whole thing basically. I recorded the whole trip, as much of it as I could, with the GoPros going this way, going that way, connected this way, the thing on the selfie stick from behind, and in the thing. I tried every different thing. And I have a feeling I just like I didn't know, I just like went for it. But it in the end it will come out to be a really fun learning experience. And I will know how to use it better for the next one. And I hope there will be a next one and many more next ones. And I'm happy to and grateful to have be given the opportunity to level up. So yeah, and think about it. Like think about the record store and be like, yo, check this record store out. You know, just like being able to show you that, and interspersed with, you know, more square footage, and, you know, to mix and match. And it's just like it's a new storytelling tool, and I'm just really excited about it. So but I just am learning it, and I haven't even touched the software, so I'll figure it out as I go along. Okay, a lot of comments here. I'm going to keep going. Thank you for letting me explain the camera. And if anybody wants to know more about that, or have a question about that, or didn't quite understand the nature of that, I'm sorry that I didn't explain it better, but this is lots of years of experience. So knowing how to, you know, put a project together, manage a project. Yeah. So, oh my God, XR250R was my youth. Mine too, dude. That's my home. That's my home place. That's an awesome dirt bike. In Japan, they call them desert bikes, and fun bikes. They call them fun bikes. I was like, what do they call these? We call them XRs, but yeah, Unishock. Unishock on the XR. Does it? That must be a big one. I don't know. R maybe is the Unishock version. I'm not sure. I can't remember. There's a lot of little different variations. So way beyond the VC is this. Oh man, I mean, it's VC, it's VC tang, it's a VC adjacent. There's this it's records. I promise. Hold tight. It's all coming back to music and records. I promise. You have to watch Sherman's March doco, Brian. Okay, it fits right in with your own doco style. Cheers, man. Sherman's March doco. Okay, let me write it down. Okay, Sherman's March. Got it. 85 film. Sherman's. Okay. I don't know it. Okay, this looks fun. Okay, I'll check this out. A meditation on the possibility of romantic love in the South during an era of nuclear weapons proliferation in 1986. Cinema Verite documentary film. Cool. Cinema Verite? Is that what I'm doing? I don't even know what that means. Is that what I'm doing? Let's call it that. Hold on, let me look that up. What is Cinema Verite? I've heard the term before. Am I saying it right? Is that what this has become? Cinema Verite. I hope this is what it is. Come on. A style of filmmaking characterized by realistic, typically documentary films which avoid artificiality and artistic effect, are generally made with simple equipment. Nice! I think I'm doing Cinema Verite. That's cool. I think that's what I'm doing, maybe. Okay, some examples are Bob Dylan, Don't Look Back. What else? Okay, some documentaries that I've seen. I kind of don't really know that well. Cool, and some classics. All right, dude. Nice, dude. Appreciate that. You just gave me like a little. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that one person's opinion. I appreciate that. Really, I'm gonna hang on to that. Cinema Verite. Okay, you heard it here first, folks. We do ADHD, Brian. Streams are good. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think sometimes you just need somebody to hang out with, and like, okay, I want to hang out with you guys. I just want to hang out too. It's like, you hang out. No, you hang out. No, you hang out. I don't want to hang out. You hang out. I'm like, I don't want to get off because I need to go. I'm going to wrap this up in 5 minutes, if I even need 5 minutes. Chill, enjoy. I've never read them, but checked out Neil Peart, Rush Motorcycle Travel Books. Oh yeah, he was a big motorcyclist, wasn't he? He had like the big hogs. He was like the big whoops, where'd the comic go? Yeah, I saw the clips. I saw the previews or something. I knew about that about him. Yeah, man, the motorcycle is like, it's like a horse, you know, it's like riding into the sunset. It's like cowboy stuff. It's real good. I love the motorcycle, man. It's the best. I feel so lucky that I got to be a motorcycle guy. Just use a drone, Brian. Yeah, I wonder, can you get a drone to follow you? How long does it follow you? What happens when it runs out of batteries? Don't those I've never had a drone. I'm like not a drone pilot. I want to be one. I'm going to wait a little while before I ask for a drone, but maybe I can, maybe this project will flip a little, it'll flip a little things, flip a few dominoes, and maybe I'll be able to buy the drone next. Because I do want one. You are new economy. Roll with it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. It's like you got to make it work. Make it work. I work with architects. I'm not an architect, but I work with architects. And architecture is all about problem solving, and skateboarders and boxers. These I love these professions, especially the boxers and skateboarders. But the architects are interesting. It's like the architects never know how these things are supposed to. You can draw these things on paper. It's like George Lucas about, you know, his script writing, his dialogue. You know, he was famously got told a bunch of times, you can't talk like this. People don't talk like this. We have to change it. You can draw designs, but when it's time to go hang the thing from the thing, and it's like not the right size, and it's the sun's melting it, and the weather did this to it, and it's, you know, like this is it's problem solving. So I'm proud of myself that I figured out a few hacks to do things my way. And I pity, you know, anybody who's like stuck without figuring out their hacks. In fact, I want to offer like a lesson on hacks. Like what hacks, we should have like a hack school. What hacks do you have that you could, you know, teach me? And what hacks do I have that I could teach you? My sister always says that you have not because you ask not. Yeah, you have not because you ask not. I mean, I just know from somebody told me that in my volunteer project, they said, I know why you're doing your volunteer project. You're doing it because it makes you feel good. And that's the only reason you're doing it. You're not really altruistic. You're just a narcissist, and you're just full of yourself, and you just want the glory of helping other people and everybody to congratulate you. Somebody once said this to me, like somebody I really respected. And talk about a blow to your spirit. That like really hurt. It was just like positivity, good vibes all the way. And this guy came to this project, and like he said that to me. It was like, oh, I was like, not at all, man, not even close. Like you don't. And I realized like, oh, I get why you're saying that. It's because you didn't experience it. You haven't. And I was like, okay, so people are going to have opinions, and especially when they don't understand. And luckily I like won the guy over, but it took me never giving up. It took me being like, I'm just not gonna give up on you until, and he was like, you know what, the only fucking reason that I'm changing my tune about you is because you didn't give up. You know, you didn't, like, I was ready to write you off, you know, and I was like, I didn't do it, you know, like I totally undeserved. And I had inadvertently insulted the guy on, which I wasn't even aware of. Anyway, it's a long story, but you know, I've accepted the fact that people are going to have those opinions, and that me getting somewhere or something that somebody else doesn't have, it's like, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know, if it's not your thing, then just, you know, it's okay. You know, you be welcome. You're welcome to your opinion, but I'm living it. And you know, if we're oil and water, then, you know, that's okay. That's totally okay. And but the truth is, as I do feel great about doing it, but that's not why I do it. That's not what drives me to do it. Well, you know what? In fact, I take it back. It is what drives me to do it, but that's not a bad thing. Because I've seen the ripple. I've very much seen the ripple, and it's amazing and it's beautiful. And God, I would hope somebody would do something. Like if I was in the situation of these people in Texas, or the people in Philippines, or in Nepal, or Oklahoma, or wherever they are, I would hope that somebody would come and, just use their whatever they had to, like, try to make something happen. And it's just, I feel so bad for the people who are like, so just haven't had those kinds of, like, yeah, they're just like stuck. I just feel so bad. I just want to unstuck people. And I mean, like, yeah, anyway, old panoramic cams were also gold. Yes, man. I had a couple old panoramic cams. Nice. Looking forward to the 360 cam work. I'm going to put one out in the next 24 hours. Give me some time. I'm just figuring out how to do it. I have to apologize. I think maybe like one clip is great out of like 1,000 that I took, but I don't even know that, but I'm going to try and we'll see what happens. Your road trip kind of reminded me of the long way round motorcycle TV show with Ewan McGregor. Yeah, I've watched those. They're amazing, but that guy's got a support team of like 6 people, right? They got another van following them with the drones and with the TV crew and with 6 people. And, but yes, those are awesome. Those are cool stories. But I kind of have to say, like, okay, maybe if like money was no object, isn't that kind of like, what is that? Like driving with a support crew behind you on a motorcycle? I mean, I like Ewan McGregor, but like, what is that? Something is not very cowboyish about that. Something is very like not enough grease in your fingers. Not sure. Boxing, yes. I better ZZZ. Oysamin aside, good night. My new hacker ship is number Brian keeps me awake. Oh, sorry, dude. My new hacker. Okay, your new hack. Yeah, I got it. Sorry, Brian keeps me awake. Sorry about that. Hardship. My new hardship is Brian keeps me awake. Sorry, dude. Okay. Damn, I met you in Mongolia on that trip. Oh, dude. I mean, dude, respect. I take it back, but it's respect. I respect the dude. I wish I could do something like that. It'd be like an epic trip. Okay, so that's going to wrap up this live stream series. Interesting live stream series. Cinema Verite, Motorcycle Diaries. Maybe I've stumbled into, I mean, I'm sure it's out there, but like this could be like a fun little new thing for me. The only thing I have a little bit concerned about is the blowback from the naysayers who are just like, you don't deserve to be online, or something, and that's the only really thing that making a fool of myself, but I think I'm kind of okay with that. If people don't, if that's what their MO is, then that's okay. I'm over here. My life is dope and I do dope shit. To quote Kanye West, my life is dope and I do dope shit. I'm the one who fucking rode the motorcycle all around Japan in a sidecar. It was fucking awesome. And hey, I'm just going for it. This is just one project of dozens that I'm doing, and I'm just gonna keep on doing me. And that's all I can say. More to come. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, folks. We'll come back in a couple months' time to continue this story on the sidecar. But right now, I'm leaving it there. And it was a fun experiment. It was a fun adventure. Thank you to everybody who joined along. Bucks and Yornimer and One Person's Opinion. There's so many. Shane's Vinyl Records and Gary and Ninja Cat Matt, heaps of comments from Ninja Cat Matt, Art, North Carolina Vinyl Picker, and Dave Amfideli left a lot of comments. F Zappa 20 was in the house, dude. I'm gonna catch up on my fish soon here. Glenn Williams, and 4D was leaving comments there. Stunty hopped on. Greg from OGCs was on the stream that we had. Gary Harris. And yeah, it was fun. Dallas. I'm just so happy to see all these names. Appreciate all you guys being here. Really, it's meaningful. I mean it. I can't say it too many times. I can say it too many times or whatever I'm trying to say. I'm okay. I'm stumbling. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for joining me on this really fun adventure. It was a blast. It was so much fun, and I like maybe I'm gonna do another one. Maybe next summer is gonna call for another one. So yeah, wish me luck on this project, and wish the four of us. There's four of us luck on this project, and I promise there's actually lots more fun stuff to come. Even more fun, more silly, goofy, off the wall, like over the top, like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me kind of fun. It's coming, I promise. So stay tuned. And until next time, like, subscribe, comment, share. Appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who supported. And until next time, I will see you all at the record store. Bye.